Go.
We're good?
Okay.
Got it. Okay. This is a special call meeting of the Breckinridge County Board of Education. I'd like to thank all of you for coming. We'll go ahead and call us to order. We do have some guests that will speak a little bit later in the program today. Roll call, all the board members are here. Under item 2, the routine consent actions is approve the minutes from the regular meeting March 9th and the special called meeting March 23rd. Approve the treasurer's orders. Approve payment of bills. Declare the high school football equipment as surplus and approve disposal according to KRS regulations. And also declare the high school band equipment as surplus and approve of disposal according to KRS regulations.
So moved.
Joy makes that motion.
I'll second.
Mark seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor? We'll move that one along. And then we'll move to 3, which is student presentation and recognition.
All right. I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate BCHS student Om Patel for being selected to attend the Western Kentucky University Gatton Academy of Mathematics and Science during his 11th and 12th grade school years. Om will be dually enrolled at BCHS and WKU during those years. Congratulations to members of the 1995 State Champion Fighting Tiger basketball team. They were recognized at the KHSAA State Tournament last month. Congratulations to BCHS students Bailey Harper, Claire Thornhill, and Wesley Horsley for being accepted into the 2022 Governor Scholars Program. These 3 students were selected from a highly competitive field of 1,754 students from Kentucky. Congratulations to BCHS students Riley Grant, Om Patel, and Samantha Smith for being admitted to the Kentucky Governor's School for Entrepreneurs for 2022. These students were selected from the strongest pool of applicants to date, according to GSE. Congratulations to the BCHS Chorale under the direction of Miss Addie Hinks for participating in the 4th District Kentucky Music Educators Performance Assessment event last month. The group earned the highest rating of distinguished for their performance. Congratulations, Chorale and Miss Hinks. I'd also like to congratulate the BCHS Band for receiving a distinguished rating at KMEA as well last month. And congratulations to all of our students who participated in the Youth Coding League spring season. All 4 elementary schools moved on into the first round of the playoffs, and we wish them the best of luck moving forward. And that concludes recognition.
Very good stuff. We'll move on to item 4, which is discussion and action items. Under A, instruction and curriculum, would be the Head Start report. Welcome, Jared.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Jerry.
Well, in March, we held registration along with kindergarten. Had a light turnout. That's always normal this time of the year. They always hit us in the summer. I submitted our refunding application on April the 1st. Then teachers will conduct end-of-the-year assessments and make their final home visits coming up between now and into May. Found out this morning that we're going to get a $36,000 cost of living adjustment for next year.
That's awesome.
That will be on next month's agenda, so it's always good to get more instead of taking away. So,
Yeah, that's good. We like that, Jerry.
yes,
Yeah.
so that's my report for this
Good
month.
job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jared. Item 2 would be the district transition readiness report.
All right, Mr. John Miller is going to come up and give us our final update for the school year.
All right, hello everyone, thanks for having me. Just kind of update you on where we are with transition readiness. Again, I've got to teach myself, but it's post-secondary readiness now, not transition readiness. The name has changed, but the job still stays the same. We had 135 students, 90 at the high school and 45 at the ATC, who recently took the end of program assessments. End of program assessments are made for students who have 2 or more classes along a pathway. They can take an end of program assessment. So we had 27 students at the high school who passed that end of program assessment, which means they are officially career ready. So we're proud of that. I'm not sure what the ATC pass rate was. Ours was like 35%, which is pretty typical. A lot of times you're asking those seniors to take an end of program assessment, and they're not always excited about it. So, but anyway, we were proud of the 27 students. They each got a certificate. One will go in their permanent folder, and one will go in the packet that they receive on graduation night. I'm glad Mr. Coombs and Ms. Flood are here, because next I want to brag on the middle school. BCMS and St. Romuald 8th graders visited the high school and the area technology center to kind of review and show them firsthand look at what our pathways we offer. And so I want to also recognize Ms. Barr, who helped coordinate that along with the middle school. I just was able to kind of stand back and watch, which was nice. But so anyway, thank you. The middle school has done an outstanding job of pushing career pathways, allowing me to come over there on Flex Fridays and talk with 8th graders, going over there in a couple days to finish that up. So it's been a team effort, and one of the points I'm going to make in just a second will prove that. We were luckily selected by the Kentucky Department of Education to go through a comprehensive audit of our CTE programs, which made me extremely nervous in my, I don't know, 3rd year, but 2 of them were COVID years. So I'm like, Dr. Carter, I don't know what I'm doing right or wrong. I'm the new
So
CTE
it's an
director.
opportunity for growth.
And that's what Dr. Carter told me. He says, well, we'll learn from it and move forward. So he made me feel a lot better because, you know, anytime we're audited, I get tore up about it. There were very few findings. They were very complimentary of our program. The findings that were submitted to us, I met with Dr. Carter and Ms. Knuckle just a couple weeks ago to kind of review those findings. Those have all already been corrected. So if we had the same audit today, there would be no findings. So it was good experience, I guess. Also, yesterday we had an opportunity to get in on the very opening, I guess, relationship with Ford Next Generation Learning. There are 5 Blue Oval 5K battery plant that's coming to Glendale. So we're developing that relationship with them because they're going to need 5,000 workers, and there's not that many workers in Hardin County. So, you know, we're hoping to be able to see what they need from us and build maybe some programs around to help some of our kids get jobs there in the future. So again, initial stages, but exciting to think about. Next is scheduling for the 22-23 school year is complete. My first year doing this, it took me and the counselors and the curriculum specialists days to figure out student schedules. That's because students didn't really know. I don't know, let me see the pathways. I don't know, let me look at the book of the classes I can take. This year they were done in 4 days, just the counselors did it. And I think that's a direct reflection on the work that the middle school's done, the work that the high school's done, and showing the kids what opportunities are there before they just sit down and have to look and see. They already know, already had their schedules filled out. So it was a very seamless process. Kids know what they want to do now, or at least they think they do, until they maybe get in and want to change. But that was exciting to kind of see the fruits of our labor in that kids are aware now of what they want to do. I know Dr. B talks about his son is going to be in 9th grade, and he's already talking about the classes he'll take as a junior and senior along the pathway that he wants to pursue. So that's just exciting to hear, to know that what we're doing is taking hold. I do want to, in your packet, I do want to review the enrollments. Speaking of scheduling, the tentative or preliminary enrollments for the pathways next year: agriculture 171, business and marketing 120, and this is number of students that have enrolled. Business and marketing 127, and 20 of those are involved in our new Tiger One Bank. Computer science is at 25. We wondered if we were going to be able to make it work, so if you have come on board with that. Early childhood education is 96. Mr. Brockman, 10 of those will be in that 4th class this year and be able to intern in our preschool classroom, so we'll be working with you on that. I know, we won't be ready the first day, but we'll be ready soon thereafter. Teaching and learning, we have 29 students involved with that. Ms. Knuckle, 9 of those will be available to help in our schools as interns or do some co-oping. One thing we always try to do is poll our students as to what you want that we may not have. One of the overwhelming things was law and criminal justice, or law and police and whatever. And so we were able to use the old IT position, Mr. Thompson before he left. We've started a law and criminal justice pathway. 75 kids have enrolled in it. So that's going to be very popular, and they can work right here in town, so that'll be great. And I understand we have some really good candidates to take over that pathway. Engineering, we have 21. We have another new pathway, and it kind of fell in our lap. the art teacher at the high school said, hey, can we do some sort of digital or graphical arts? And like, there's a pathway for that. So we're starting the graphic design pathway. That's brand new. 49 kids are involved in that. Manufacturing and maintenance. Ford and Nucor will be glad to know that's our largest. 255 kids. The staff over there at the ATC are newer, and boy, they're passionate about it. And I know some of you I've seen over there spending some time, but man, those kids are into it, and the staff is into it, so we're real happy for that. JROTC, when we first started, I think we talked about, we're excited. We got 19 kids enrolled, 101 now enrolled in JROTC. Health Sciences, 185. And last but not least, Flight and Aeronautics. I think we were real excited that first year when we had 8 or 9. We're like, oh, this is really cool. We got 8 kids or 9 kids. Next year we have 53, and 28 of those are freshmen. So I want to use that as a segue to introduce you guys to Mr. Bob Miller. Bob, could you come here, please? Mr. Bob Miller had a vision before while I was still at Irvington, to start some sort of a flight and aeronautics something in this county. And he's done tremendous work at the airport alone, but he reached out to Mr. Cox and Dr. Carter way back when and said, I want to show you what the future can look like. And took them to UPS, and they were in flight simulators, and Bob has a true passion unlike anything I've ever seen. And so if it weren't for Bob, we would not have a flight and aeronautics pathway. We would not have 53 kids involved in it. We would not have kids who are going to be legally flying an airplane before they can drive a car. And that's the case. But I just want to go through a couple of the things that Bob has done over the years, and I've gotten to know him really well. He secured funding for 3 flight simulators, the same flight simulators that they have at the Air Force Academy. We're the only high school in the world, not nation, in the world that has the same type of flight simulators that they have at the Air Force Academy. He's volunteered tons of hours before the pandemic, helping students on those simulators. He coordinated a visit from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet Commissioner of Aviation, Mark Carter, and his team flew into Breckinridge County, brought them to the high school to witness our program, and they were blown away. I overheard Bob talking to Paul earlier saying they even put some pictures on their Facebook page of Breck County High School. So they were blown away by the program. Secured funding from area volunteers for upgrades to our simulators. We got 3 monitors on each simulator, and continues to assist wherever needed to better the flight and aeronautics pathway. So I know we've mentioned Bob Miller's name before. He couldn't be here the last time a year and a half ago when we had a flight and aeronautics discussion, but I just wanted to publicly recognize him and thank him for his tireless efforts in our flight and aeronautics program. So thank you, Bob. You want to say anything? You don't have to.
No, I'm good.
All right, thank you.
Question real quick, John.
The what?
The simulators, are they T4? Is that what the simulator is?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
They're, right now we have HD, the VR simulator hoods and everything in the 3 screens, and we're working on getting bigger simulators. So
And it's the software that they use at the
the software is
academy.
what the Air Force Academy is using for their cadets.
Right.
Mr.
Thank you.
Rotramel, would you please come on up? And I want to yield the rest of my time. I've probably already used it all, but just for Mr. Rotramel to give us an update. He was here a year and a half ago when we were excited about getting the program started. And so I want to kind of give him just a couple of minutes to tell you where we are now with our program, and that ends it for me. So thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
All right. Yeah, so I think Mr. Miller covered some of the numbers that we're really excited about with the aviation program. I guess last January when I was here, I kind of presented on what the program is and why it's important. But since that time, I feel like we've sort of come out of a lot of the COVID restrictions and things. And in the last even few weeks, I think I've started to feel personally like we've really gotten our feet on the ground with this program and really able to like make plans for the future. So, of course, during COVID, we were kind of looking for a place, and then with, construction, we were kind of displaced and things. We finally moved into a classroom, or at least, part of a classroom that belongs to us. No one else is in there. Our simulators are in the room with us. Our materials in the room with us. Tables. It's set up. It's an aviation classroom, and it's awesome to be able to take the students in there. You know, there's pictures of airplanes and diagrams and things on the walls, and it looks like the classroom that we've been envisioning for a couple of years. So we're excited about that. I think we're finally starting to use the simulators the way that we wanted, which is not only to use the curriculum that we've got, which is, you know, taking students from here's how you fly straight and level to, you know, here's how you do level turns, all the way up to here's a rectangular course and now let's do takeoffs and landings. But we're also able to use the simulator to illustrate concepts that we teach in class. So for example, one thing we're talking about this week with the sophomore level is talking about the instruments of, you know, of an aircraft and how they work. So the altimeter and the vertical speed indicator, and we talk about how do they work. Some of the, you know, for example, one of the issues with the vertical speed indicator is it has about a 5 or 6 second lag as it registers. And the simulator will simulate that. And so instead of just talking about it, we're able to have the students do the activity in the simulator and have them experience what it's like to sort of, you know, chase the needle and realize that you have to sort of anticipate what your, you know, vertical speed is, you know, by looking out the window and stuff like that. So when they're able to do that, and they're able to actually see how the, you know, here's how, you know, when you adjust the altimeter setting, here's how it feels, and here's how the dial moves. That's the kind of stuff that's really, really valuable for our students. And so I think we're finally at a place where we're able to offer that. As far as the students we have, I think currently we're looking at about 28 that are in the program now. And of those, you know, I tried to kind of gather some numbers for you all. I believe that we have several of those who are participating outside of the classroom in aviation-related things. So I think we have at least 4 students who are involved in things like Civil Air Patrol, which is kind of an extracurricular way that gets students flight time and experience around airplanes. I know we have at least 2 students who are taking flight lessons on their own as we speak, you know, in contact with an instructor. One of those students has actually done his first solo and is working towards the written exam that this class prepares students for, and that's exactly why we're here and what makes us so excited. I think the statistic, and I don't of course have a number on this one, but the one that makes me the most excited is that we have several students who have expressed to me that this class has changed their perception on aviation as a career. You know, we always have several kids who come in because they're like, oh, that looks fun, or the simulators look cool, a new passion. The other thing I tell kids all the time, you know, when we had pathway visits or whatever, and all the 8th graders came and we got about 5 minutes with all of them. And the other thing I kept telling them was, now is the time to try something new. You know, when you get to be an adult, learning new stuff costs time and money that a lot of times you don't have. You are now at an age where you can try whatever you want to, and there's people who are putting these opportunities in your way. And I think, like, man, like, I hope I never took that for granted, but I don't want them to. Because the opportunity to learn all this stuff when they're this age as part of the school day is just, I mean, there's nothing like it. So.
Back on?
Don't think so.
Well, Al's happy.
It's back up and running.
Okay, yeah, we're good.
Okay. Anyways, I was just saying that
Yeah, we're good.
I guess what really sort of validates the program in my eyes is seeing students who are newly passionate about aviation. Not just taking the kids that were like me, that were into it anyways, but taking students who took it because, oh, that sounds fun, all of a sudden planning to make a career in aviation. So I think, and that's what we talk to them about all the time, is I think, you know, unless you grew up really close to a major airport with commercial service, this whole world of aviation is almost invisible to you until summer vacation when you get on a plane and go to the beach. We don't think about the fact there's over 50 airports in the state of Kentucky. You know, our own airport generates hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for us in revenue, just like all of these other ones do, and it's a huge industry that we could not live without, whether you ride on an airplane or not. And so our students are seeing that, and they're hopefully gearing up to enter the workforce or at least be passionate about this for the rest of their lives. So anybody have any other questions, I guess?
When did you start flying?
I started flying, I think, in 2019. So like I said, I've been an enthusiast forever. I thought I was going to be a pilot for a really long time. I graduated from high school in a downturn from the airlines, like just a few years after 9/11. And so it was a bad time. I knew that my eyesight wasn't great. And that's when I decided that maybe it wasn't for me. So now is, of course, the opposite. Now is a great time to become a pilot. In about 10 years, they're saying we're going to need almost 1 million pilots around the world. And that's about the time that our students will be getting through high school, through college, and finishing their flight ratings, just in time to enter the workforce. So.
Also, you all know Paul is also our band director. So Paul, while you're up here, is there anything you'd like to update on band. We're very proud of our band.
Yeah, it's been an awesome spring for the band as well, and you know, I'll keep that short. But you know, of course we have the distinguished rating that you mentioned, so you know, appreciate you mentioning that and all the support for that. But that's basically an event where we take the concert band to be heard by judges, and they give us feedback. We also do some sight reading, and I was really proud of our students because they scored the highest possible score on sight reading, which is where they pass out a band piece to the students that have never seen it before. They get 5 minutes to look at it without playing a note, and then we perform it from start to finish for the judge. And that to me is the mark of a good band, because that means you're reading. You're not, you know, you haven't memorized it, you're not parroting something back, you are making music with what's in front of you. Of course, week after that, we went to Disney, performed on Main Street, USA.
And y'all look great.
Yeah, well, we sure appreciate it. We had a great time. The trip could not have been better, and once again, you know, I need to thank you all and our district administration as well for their support in allowing us to go. You know, I know that there were so many questions. A lot of times I kicked myself. I was like, what am I doing? You know, this is my first year in this job. We're coming out of COVID. Who knows what the restrictions are? Why are we going out of state? And the response that I felt like I always got from our administration and our community was always, give these students this opportunity, and it was great. It could not have gone better. Of course, we all started marching band rehearsals yesterday, actually, and we're still at the point where we're auditioning students and finding out who's going to be a part of the 2022 group. But I think we had 72 students on the potential roster as of yesterday, which is absolutely mind-blowing. We have a really strong sixth-grade band. If anybody's interested to come to the concert, it's May the 5th at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. We'll have all the grades 6th through 12th, and I think it'll be a fantastic concert for all the groups. So.
You have such enthusiasm. I hope you don't burn yourself out.
Well, I sure appreciate that. I sometimes say, I don't know, I almost wish I wasn't so excited about so many different things, because I do. I love it all. I love it all equally. I have been a airplane lover, and I've been a music lover as long as I can remember in my entire life. I don't remember a time when I wasn't listening to band music. You know, my parents came from a band tradition. They made cassette tapes for me of band music, some of which we're fortunate enough to play with the kids here. I remember listening to that as a kid. I remember going to the airport, you know, back before they had the restrictions and, you know, going through security and all. You just go to the airport, go to the observation deck. You know, I grew up in Lexington, 10 minutes from the airport, and we just watched airplanes come and go. That was what I wanted when I was a kid. If I was good, if I got A's on my report card, I want to go to the airport. And I don't remember a time before that. So I sure appreciate being able to work in a place where I get to do all that. So thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. All right. With that finished up, we'll move on to item B, which is operations. Under number 1 is here the update on the high school project.
I have no idea how to follow.
Try to be as enthusiastic.
I want you to hop with everyone.
I do support the aviation. I started my professional career at UPS Airlines, so there are a lot of careers in aviation other than just flying. I totally support what's going on there. It's great work. But I'll have to transition into the project update. Right now, what we're looking at, we're kind of down to punch list items. We've got mechanical, electrical, architect's punch list, and we're just going through those and trying to schedule them. Weather hasn't been terribly kind to us at the site, so a lot of the site work that I would have liked to have seen done is not completed yet, but we're still working through it. You'll probably see a few change orders come through in the May meeting, but they're going to be minor. There's like contract closeout change orders, so if there's like any money left over on a purchase order, we get a credit back, and we have to do a change order to address that. The only one that might be an add would be the paving, and we're still working through that bid, and that's in the area in front of the JR OTC addition, the weight room addition, on the side of the high school. So look for those, and we'll continue moving as hard as we can to get this sucker finished. That's all I have, unless you guys have any questions on the project.
Anything more? All right. Then we'll go to item 2, which is approve the proposal for the preschool playground renovations.
This is the point where I completely monopolized the board meeting for a little while in the operations side of it. We've had a proposal in front of you from Miracle of Kentucky and Tennessee, and we're gonna upgrade our preschool playgrounds with a turf surface, and it's, you know, we feel really excited about it. It's going to be really awesome, and the maintenance on it's going to be low over the next several years, and we had a chance to pay for it through the American Rescue Plan ESSER funds for Head Start. So Mr. Brockman and I have been working on this project for a couple months trying to get it done. We went through the Kentucky Educational Development Corporation, KEDC. It's a purchasing co-op in the state of Kentucky that Breckinridge County are members of, and Miracle has a contract with them, so that's the contract we used in the terms. That's really all I had. Unless you guys have any questions, I recommend approval.
So moved.
Joy makes that motion.
I'll second.
Mark seconds. Any other discussion on that one? All those in favor? Glad to have that.
If Jared said it's good, it must be.
Yeah.
Those were my comments exactly when we were going through it.
Item 3 is the district energy management report.
So you normally see this on the October board agenda that I'm required to give an energy management report. This is more of a bragging session, if you will, that we were awarded Energy Star certification in all our buildings, which means we're super efficient in every one of our facilities.
And we get another little badge at KSP.
We get a super cool badge. We get the little star you get to put on the glass. I mean, just, you know, we're rolling it all out. But to be labeled as Energy Star certified, you've got to meet certain standards by the EPA, which CMTA helped us put the application together for each facility, and we did qualify. It saves energy, saves money, and certainly provides some environmental protection as well. So what does that mean to us? Well, I ran a report before I came in here today through March of 2022, and I looked back all the way to March of 2020, and we've reduction of 56% in our energy spend. And that's of this period 2 years ago, so pre-COVID, right around COVID.
Wow,
So
that's
it's
incredible.
I think it's a real success. We're up slightly from last year, but you think in terms of the building usage from last year, we're up considerably for that. So couldn't be happier. We're saving money over and above what we're actually paying bonds to do those improvements on. So, and then the Energy Star to me is just sort of a feather in the cap at this point. But I wanted to make you guys aware of some of the great work that we're doing in terms of energy in the district.
That's fantastic.
Good job, Michael.
I know.
There's no action on that, so it's just me bragging. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work that you all have done to
Yeah.
make that happen as well.
Absolutely.
It doesn't just come with hiring somebody to do it.
You're right.
It's a lot of background work that has to happen.
Yeah, we're still learning how to manage it, but
Mhm.
we're getting there.
Item 4, review and discuss the investment options for reserve funds.
So this is, we wanted to throw this out in an open meeting just to discuss, and I look at things like this all the time to see if there's opportunity to maximize our revenue, you know, over and above what's coming in. And this is just some of the proposals that I've looked at. I partnered up with Baird Financial. Baird does they're our fiscal agent for our bonds, and this is their investment arm out of Bowling Green that I worked with. And basically, what I was trying to do is just, we have some restricted funds in our general fund that could I invest those funds and earn a greater return than what's currently at the bank. Interest rates are low, which is good, but as far as earning money on our money, that it's not good, right? So that's kind of what I did. They put together sort of a sample proposal, because you got to think that they're putting together a proposal as of a current time in the market. So obviously these things change. We have investment policies in place as a district, which prohibit us from investing in any real risky type investment. So this is not like me going out and trying to buy futures in the stock market and you know, looking at those things. These are they're safer investment vehicles. Think of treasuries, even some CDs, those kinds of things. And he put together sort of a sample. What if I gave you $2.5 million? Now this is just an example, because I don't know how much we would even consider. I wanted to get where your all's minds were at on this before I went forward. And he put together this proposal. Page 5 sort of shows a 12-month cash flow estimate. It's $38,000. That's what we would earn over a 12-month period. Now, if you take that same amount of money and you put it in our bank, you're looking at $28,000 less that we would earn. So that's what I'm talking about, trying to maximize some of the money that we're bringing in. Page 11 of that report that you have actually shows the monthly cash flow. My thought is you would take that cash flow and you could either take it out and recognize that revenue in our general fund, or you could roll it back in to our portfolio and reinvest it. It would be something that we would look at. It does cost, there is a fee associated obviously with them managing this money for us. You have two options. You can go through like what's called a brokerage account, which is essentially they charge commissions on the trades that they make. or you can do what's called an advisory fee, which is just a flat, fixed fee. It's so much percent over the course of a year. I recommend, I've been looking at the fixed fee because I just think it's a very clean, straightforward way of seeing our fees. We've all heard about hidden fees and those kinds of things and investments. I like the idea of it being fixed and right in front of you on a statement. So there's no action required in this. We just wanted to, like I said, put it in front of you just to get your feel as to what we were trying to do with some of our restricted money. Dr. Carter and I are still going to look at it a little closer and determine, you know, what can we realistically invest and sort of, you know, put to work, if you will, over the next 12 months, and we maybe don't need that cash, you know. So I'm still working through some of the details, but we wanted to put it out there to show you that we were looking at it. Questions, concerns?
Oh, no, I'm all about it. If you can make that money, make more money, I'm for that.
Right, and again, it's the forward thinking that you all have put into this that are getting us to the state that we're in now, where we've been able, facility-wise, to touch every building and,
Sure.
you know, to be at the point where we could consider investing some money, you know, without being completely broke. So,
Yeah, it's not an outside the box thinking. Industries have been doing this kind of thing for a number of years. It's a little bit outside the box for school districts necessarily, but there are some school districts in Kentucky that does some similar to this, so it's not unheard of.
And I do agree with fixed rate.
The most important part is that we do have reserve
Money
funds
to
to
do
do
it.
this.
Oh,
I mean, you know,
absolutely, yeah,
that's
definitely.
that's the main thing
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Yes, that's so I can sleep at night.
Yeah.
You got it.
all right.
But again, there's no action on that, just merely discussion.
Thank you again.
Yep.
Item 5, approve the minor findings to the district facility plan.
I'm almost through.
Here's the way to spend that money.
Thank you. So we had to reconvene the LPC, which was really a good thing, because the reason we were doing it was because we had to expand some of the work on the district facility plan for the middle school that we just got approved the funding for. So we wanted to make sure our facility plan represented the changes that we wanted to do. Even with the upcoming resolution that we're going to look at, we still have to submit these things, and we still have to go through the process with the facilities piece, and they're still going to, I think, have to approve this finding. It's a minor finding, which means that it doesn't substantially affect our needs, and it's dealing with one location. So it was a really quick, Ms. Campbell was there at the LPC, we had the architect come down to answer any questions, and I put in front of you the updated facility plan. It does have to be approved by the local board, and then I'll send it to the facilities branch to be approved by them, and then it's good to go. So I recommend approval.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Vanessa, you making that motion? Okay.
Second.
Rick will second. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor? We'll move that one along. Item 6, discuss and approve the House Bill 678 resolution.
Okay, so what this is, the General Assembly during the 2022 legislative session passed House Bill 678, which basically it's about facilities projects in school districts. It allows school districts to have a little more flexibility until June 30th of 2024 to move forward with some projects without so much oversight by the Kentucky Department of Education. What prompted this bill was obviously, we all know, so we've been going through renovation during the pandemic, material shortages and workforce supply issues and things like that has really made it even more imperative that school districts can act quickly on facility projects. And then like the facility branches at KDE, there's not a lot of folks that are in that branch, so it's taking so long for school districts to get clearance on different things that prices are changing before districts can get approved to proceed. And there are several examples of school districts that have had to pay over $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 more because of these long wait times. So that's why it's just until June 30th of 2024. So it's a temporary deal where I believe the General Assembly is probably hoping that by that time we've worked through the material shortages and the workforce issues to where it's a lot quicker. In order for us to be able to take advantage of this, the school board has to approve a resolution, and then we send this resolution to KDE, and I recommend approval.
And I agree with you. So moved.
Joy makes the motion. Vanessa seconds. Any other discussion there? All those in favor? Gladly take that one. Item 7 is approve the purchase of 3 66-passenger school buses pending KDE approval. Here's that approval.
This is, we're hoping to purchase 3 new 66-passenger buses. I'm not exactly sure when we will get those in. Mike, how long does it usually take? If we order.
If we get approved tonight, they'll be ordered tomorrow.
That's not a joke.
Why don't you wait a little?
And they'll be here yesterday.
The pickup number has already been made, the paperwork is filled out, and 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, it'll go to Frankfurt. But as far as when they will arrive, I honestly can't say. It's just like everything else, the shipping and manufacturing, everything is so delayed. They usually tell you 6 months, but probably a safer bet would be more like a year when you think Bill.
I think Michael knows us
From
very
what we've
well.
seen on the last one we ordered,
Yeah.
took about that long, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, 6 months to a
it
year.
takes time, but we're able to use some of the ESSER money as part of our spending plan for it to do this. And again, we're hoping to come out of this this relief money with a significantly upgraded fleet. That's the goal from all this. This is just the second step.
Vanessa makes a motion. Joy seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Pass that one. Item 8, discuss and approve the Astro Behavioral Health Day Treatment Service Contract.
So this need has arisen out of kind of the pandemic. What we have found that there's a lot of need for intense therapy, particularly among some of our younger students in the district. So in an effort to try to address that need, we've been working with Astro Behavioral Health for several months about possibly starting a day treatment center in the school district. Astro Behavioral Health has we went, Mr. Harnett, Mr. Brockman and I went and visited the day treatment center in Bardstown that Astra has in partnership with Bardstown Independent Schools and Nelson County Schools. And what a day treatment center is students who are in that program. And it's a small number of students, but those students go into the program and they receive half their day is intense therapy services to try to help them work through some of their social and emotional issues, and then the other half of their day is their academics. So what this would mean is we would be looking to employ a teacher and an aide to be in there. Those students would be bussed in each day and bussed out. We'd be bringing food to them. Astro has agreed to lease some space in the community in the Harrisburg area to help us with proximity, location, and right now I think that this is definitely a need. I hope it's not a need forever in our district, but right now with some of the needs that we're finding amongst some of our youngest children in the district, I believe this is a need. So this contract has been reviewed by the school board attorney, and it meets all the legal pieces of it, and I'm very comfortable with it. I would recommend approval.
Mark
Second.
makes the motion.
Second.
Rick seconds. Any other discussion there? Glad to have it. All those in favor? Move that one along. We'll go to item 9, which is approve Patrick and Associates for the audit services for the 21-22 school year in an amount of $22,000.
Last year was our first year with them, and they were great. I had no issues whatsoever. The audit price is the same as it was last year. It has gone up the last few years, but I recommend approval.
Second.
Mark makes the motion. Rick seconds. Sorry, Joy. All those in favor? Carry that one. Item 10 is approve the fiscal year 23 Frisky contract.
This is an annual approval that we do with our Friskies so that we can maintain that program. Basically, if you approve this tonight, it's the board, we're agreeing to follow all the guidelines of the state Frisky program. I recommend approval. It's a great
Lord
program.
knows we can't.
Mhm.
They're a valuable asset, we gotta take care of them.
Joy makes the motion. Vanessa seconds. Any other discussion there? All those in favor? Carry that one along. Item 11 is approve the final site-based decision-making allocation.
All right, Ms. Nicholson, come forward and just go over that briefly with you.
As you all recall, we gave you preliminary allocations. March 1st is when those are due to councils. And so now by May 1st, councils need the final allocations. So what is in your packet looks very similar to what you saw in March. The only change that's in that is we have taken a half-time band instructor at the middle school and made it a full-time band instructor. So that's the only change that you will see. I would like to add, though, we are very closely watching some numbers at Hardensburg Elementary. They had a larger kindergarten enrollment than was projected. So we are watching that very closely. It's great news, but it is something that we are going to continue to watch.
And as you heard earlier, the aviation program is growing at a great rate. It's wonderful, and especially what Mr. Rotramble showed about the need for a million pilots around the world in 10 years. But with that, what that has caused is it's caused more of Mr. Rotramble's time. So now we've got to make sure that need doesn't take away from our tremendous band program. So what we're asking for is to be able to turn the half-time position at the middle school to a full-time position. And Mr. Rotramble has some really good plans. So if the board approves this, then we'll be sitting down talking with middle school administration, high school administration on how to make that work. I think it's a great thing for our band program and also our aviation program as well.
Anything else, Jen?
Any other questions?
Mark makes the motion.
Second.
Rick seconds. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor? Fire those people up. Item 12 is approve the certified classified extra service salary schedules for the 22-23 school year.
Yeah, we're finally putting this in front of you. You've had a chance to really dive into the schedules in January, so there's really no changes from that. It's a 1% raise on all certified salaries. And in addition to some of the classified salaries that we changed, it was greater than 1%. Extra service that we looked at, making some significant changes on any classified level that didn't have any significant changes, still received a minimum 1% raise. So I recommend approval.
So I'm glad to do that. Joy makes the motion.
Second.
Vanessa seconds that one. Any other discussion on that? All those in favor? Pass that one. Item 13 is approve the out-of-area attendance request.
Yeah, the information, I recommend approval.
Joy makes that motion. Vanessa seconds. Any discussion on that one? All those in favor? Item 14 is act on expulsions.
I move to expel 2 BCH students for 18 weeks for violation of the student code of conduct.
Rick makes the motion. Vanessa seconds. Any discussion on those? All those in favor? That one. Item 15, approve an out-of-state field trip for the HES first grade to Squire Boone Caverns in Rockport, Indiana, April 26, 2022, and that'll be with district transportation. Joy makes the motion.
Second.
Rick seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Another one, item 16, approve an out-of-state field trip for Ben Johnson, 4th and 5th grade to the same Squire Boone Caverns, Rockport, Indiana, and that'll be for April 26th, utilizing district transportation. Joy makes the motion. Vanessa seconds. Any discussion there? All those in favor? Item 17, approve an out-of-state field trip for the middle school 8th grade volleyball team to Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana, May 23rd and 24th, 22, utilizing district transportation.
So moved.
Joy makes the motion. Vanessa seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Item 18, approve an out-of-state field trip for the middle school FFA to Holiday World, Santa Claus, Indiana, May the 20th with district transportation.
So moved.
Joy makes the motion. Mark wants to second that one. Any discussion there? All those in favor? I'm getting tongue-tied. Item 19, approve an out-of-state field trip for the ATC host at a Gaylord Opryland Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee, June 21st to 26th, 2022, that's with district transportation.
So moved.
Joy makes the motion. Vanessa's gonna second that one.
Oh,
Any
yeah.
discussion there?
And we're chaperones.
We wanna go? All those in favor? We'll move that one along as well.
trips, can't you?
Any BCA, BCSP notes for tonight?
No.
Nope. And superintendent's report?
All right, well, first, and I want to take a minute to recognize Mr. Dale Butler. Mr. Butler is going to be
Can Michael
retired.
leave?
I realize that,
He's really not comfortable with this, so.
Continue.
in all seriousness though, and I typed this up so that I would not miss it.
You or Dale typed it up?
Yeah. Well, he might have got in and edited it. But Mr. Butler has been a tireless and constant worker in the school district for the last 30 years. He began his career in Davis County, then made his way home after 2 years. And since returning to Breckinridge County, he has served as a teacher at IES for 2 years, which is where I met him. A teacher at BCHS for 10 years, principal at BCHS for 6 years, and as the district's chief information officer for the last 12 years. Dale has also served as a coach in the school district for 11 years. His coaching experience consisted of 2 years of football and basketball at Davis County, basketball at IES, and football and basketball at BCHS. Simply put, he's touched many lives in Breckinridge County. Dale's also driven a school bus
Following today.
the last several years to help out due to extreme shortages of bus drivers.
You're gonna keep driving that school bus, we've all voted.
Listen, I have enjoyed it as much as anything I have done in a long, being around kids on a regular basis has been, they get to you.
Yeah. On a personal level, Dale has helped me become who I am today in education. I want to say that since 1993, I've known Dale. He's been quietly been one of my biggest supporters, and I appreciate that. I literally could not be where I'm at today if it wasn't for the support Dale has shown me, and I certainly appreciate that so much. The last few years, Dale and I have spent a lot of time together recording COVID videos and thinking about posts and thinking about those type of things. And while it's been stressful, it's also been a pleasure. I couldn't have asked for a better information officer partner during that time, and I appreciate you, Dale. I can go on and on about how important he is. Our district's been fortunate to have him all these years, and we're truly going to miss him whenever he goes. So let's give him a hand. We appreciate it. Anything you'd like to say, Dale?
Just, it's been, I just can't say how much I've enjoyed it and how much I've enjoyed working with all of you all, and as strange as it's gonna sound, I'm gonna miss this. I probably won't come back. I may watch it on YouTube, but I may be there, but appreciate everything, and you know, what Dr. Carter said, it just goes both ways. It has been one of the most rewarding things is when you're sitting in a meeting and you're looking around and you look at former students, and hopefully you had some kind of an impact on them. So I appreciate the kind words, and thank you all for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, is there anything you'd like to say?
Not at this time.
He has a PowerPoint for a different time, so we'll move on.
With that being said, I'd like to formally introduce our next CIO, Mr. Kevin Coombs, back there. We are very excited to welcome Mr. Coombs aboard. And then also, before we conclude, I want to introduce our next BCMS principal, Miss Amy Flood, back there. Ms. Flood, is there anything you'd like to say? Any words of wisdom?
Do what?
Any words of wisdom?
Well, I don't know that I have any words of wisdom or not, but I just am really looking forward to the opportunity. I was sitting back here thinking, I look around the room and I've worked with 4 administrators on a personal level. Mike as an assistant principal, Dale as a principal, Dr. Carter as a principal, and Mr. Coombs as a principal. And I've learned so much from these 4 gentlemen, and I hope that I can fill their shoes and do a good job at the middle school. And I'm just really looking forward to next year starting and getting in there with those kids.
That's awesome.
Good
Glad to have it.
And we have no doubt that the future of the middle school is in great hands.
Well, her mama told me it would be, so I
Might be a little biased, yes.
And Mr. Coombs, don't be the least concerned that the very first meeting that you did, we dropped off the signal. That's not a problem.
we don't blame you.
We've
for
never
that.
done that before, have we?
No.
There are times where that could be an advantage.
Yeah, with this bunch, it
I
definitely.
think you got selective hearing, or selective memory, Mr. Biggs.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
All right.
All right. Item D would be public comment. We had no sign-in, so a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Rick makes the motion, Mark seconds, and we are all in favor.